What if I told you that Inception is not really about dreams? Yes, the movie has dreams inside dreams, spinning tops, impossible cities, and a mission to plant an idea in someone's mind. But the real story is much darker. Because while everyone thinks Cobb is trying to escape a dream, he is actually trying to escape something far more dangerous, his own guilt. And by the end of the movie, the biggest question is not, was the top still spinning? The real question is, did Cobb finally wake up from the prison inside his own mind? So let's explain Inception in a way that actually makes sense. The man who steals ideas. The movie begins with Dom Cobb, a man who has a very unusual job. He does not rob banks. He does not steal diamonds. He steals secrets from inside people's dreams. This process is called extraction. When a person is dreaming, their mind becomes vulnerable. Cobb and his team enter that dream, create a fake world, and trick the target into revealing hidden information. But there is one problem. Cobb is not free. He cannot return home to his children because he is wanted for the death of his wife, Mal. And this is where the movie gives him one final chance. A businessman named Saito offers Cobb a job that seems impossible. Instead of stealing an idea, Cobb must plant one. This is called Inception, and if he succeeds, Saito will clear his name and send him back home. But there is a catch. Planting an idea is much harder than stealing one, because the target must believe the idea is completely his own. The target is Robert Fisher, the son of a dying business empire owner. Saito wants Fisher to break up his father's company, but Cobb cannot simply whisper, "break up the company," into Fisher's dream. That would feel fake. The idea has to grow naturally, so Cobb's team creates an emotional story inside Fisher's mind. They want Fisher to believe that his father did not want him to copy him. Instead, his father wanted him to become his own man. That one emotional idea is powerful enough to change Fisher's life, and that is the secret of Inception. An idea only works when it feels like it came from your own heart. Dreams inside dreams. To make the idea stick, Cobb's team builds multiple dream levels. The first dream is the rainy city. The second dream is the hotel. The third dream is the snowy fortress. And beneath all of them is limbo, the deepest dream state where time stretches so much that a few minutes in the real world can feel like years. This is why the mission becomes so dangerous. If someone dies inside these heavily sedated dreams, they do not simply wake up. They fall into limbo, and in limbo they can forget what is real, but Cobb already knows this place better than anyone, because he has been there before, and what happened there destroyed his life. The truth about Mal. This is the emotional core of the movie. Cobb and his wife Mal once got trapped in limbo. They spent decades there, building an entire world together. At first it felt beautiful, but slowly Mal began to believe limbo was real. Cobb knew they had to wake up, but Mal refused to accept the truth, so Cobb did something dangerous. He planted an idea in her mind. Your world is not real. That idea made Mal escape limbo with him. But after they woke up, the idea did not disappear. It kept growing. Mal started believing that the real world was also fake. She thought death would wake her up, so she killed herself, expecting Cobb to follow. And from that moment, Cobb was haunted by guilt, not just because Mal died, but because the idea that killed her came from him. Why Mal keeps appearing throughout the mission, Mal keeps showing up and ruining everything. But this is not the real Mal. This is Cobb's projection of her. She is his guilt, his regret, and his inability to move on. Every time Cobb enters a dream, he brings that guilt with him. That is why Mal is so dangerous. The mission is not only about entering Fisher's mind, it is also about surviving Cobb's broken mind. And this is what makes Inception brilliant. The biggest enemy is not Saito's rival. It is not Fisher's security. It is Cobb's own memory. Fisher's Inception works. In the deepest planned dream level, Fisher reaches the emotional moment Cobb's team created for him. He sees his father and believes his father wanted him to be independent. This makes Fisher decide to break up the company. The Inception works because the idea is not logical, it is emotional. Fisher does not feel manipulated. He feels free, and that is why the planted idea becomes real to him. Cobb's real Inception. But here is the twist. Fisher is not the only person who goes through Inception. Cobb does too. Because by the end of the movie, Cobb finally accepts the truth about Mal. He tells her that she is not real. She is only a shadow of the woman he loved. This moment is Cobb freeing himself from the idea that has trapped him for years, the belief that he deserves to suffer forever. When Cobb lets Mal go, he finally escapes his guilt. That is his real awakening. At the end, Cobb returns home. He sees his children. He spins the top to check if he is dreaming, but then he walks away before seeing whether it falls, and the movie cuts to black. This ending has made people argue for years. Was Cobb awake? Was he still dreaming? Did the top fall? But here's the real answer. The top is not the point. The point is that Cobb no longer needs it. Earlier in the movie, he was obsessed with checking reality, but at the end, he chooses his children over the top. He chooses peace over doubt. He chooses to live. So whether the top falls or keeps spinning, Cobb has already won because he has finally escaped the dream that mattered most, the dream of his guilt. So Inception is not just a movie about dreams inside dreams. It is a movie about how one idea can build a prison inside your mind. Fisher is freed by a new idea. Mal is destroyed by one, and Cobb survives only when he finally lets one go. That is why the ending is so powerful, because sometimes waking up does not mean opening your eyes. Sometimes waking up means accepting the truth and moving forward. And now I want to know what you think. Was Cobb really awake at the end, or was he still dreaming? Comment your theory below, because this is one movie where every detail matters.